The Bag with Two Coins, based on Ion Creangă's story. Once upon a time, in a village, there were two neighbors, an old man and an old woman. The grandfather had a rooster, while the grandmother had a hen. The grandmother's hen laid eggs twice a day, and she ate a lot of them, but she didn't offer any to the grandfather. One day, the old man couldn't bear it any more and said to her, "Neighbor, you eat until you burst. Please, give me some eggs so I can satisfy my appetite." The neighbor replied, "Of course not. If you want to crave eggs, talk with your rooster and ask him to lay eggs, and then you can eat. That's what I did with the hen, and look how well she lays." The greedy old man, without thinking, followed the woman's advice and scolded the rooster. "Hey, lazy rooster, either start laying eggs or leave my house. Don't ruin the food for nothing." The rooster said that it couldn't lay eggs and, feeling useless, escaped from the master's hands and ran away. Along the road he found a small bag with 2 coins. He picked it up and returned to the old man's house. On the way, a carriage with the nobleman passed by. The landowner noticed the bag and told the coachman,
"Hey, servant, get down and see what the rooster has in its beak."
The coachman quickly got off the carriage, grabbed the rooster, took the bag from its beak, and gave it to the nobleman. The nobleman took it without a care, put it in his pocket, and continued his way. The rooster, upset, followed the carriage, chanting,
"Cock-a-doodle-doo, noble lords, give my bag or receive black points."
When the carriage reached a well, the nobleman ordered the coachman,
"Servant, take this impertinent rooster and throw it into that well."
The coachman got off again, grabbed the rooster and threw it into the well. The rooster, facing this great danger, began to drink the water, and he drank and drank and drank until it swallowed all the water from the well. Then it flew out and once again followed the carriage, chanting,
"Cock-a-doodle-doo, noble lords, give my bag or receive black points."
The landowner was astonished by the rooster's persistence and thought,
"Wow, what a rooster! Well, I find a way to get rid of you somehow."
When he arrived home, he ordered his kitchen maid to throw the rooster into an oven filled with hot ashes and put a stone at the oven's mouth. The obedient woman did as her master commanded. But the clever rooster inside the oven began to pour the water it had drunk from the well onto the embers until it extinguished the fire completely and cooled the oven. Then he used his beak to push the stone and emerged unharmed. The rooster flew to the landowner's window and shut it again.
"Cock-a-doodle-doo, noble lords, give my bag or receive black points." "Wow, I really find trouble with this rooster,"
said the nobleman.
"Servant, get it off my head and throw it into the animal yard. Some animal will take care of it, whether by the horse or by the feet."
The coachman takes the rooster again and throws it, this time into the yard. Then, what joy for the rooster! You should have seen how it swallowed all the animals in the yard, goats, sheep, pigs, and horses. I believe it also was hungry, having been away from home for so long. Then it comes back to the nobleman's window, spreads its wings in front of the sun, and starts shouting,
"Cock-a-doodle-doo, noble lords, give my bag or receive black points."
The nobleman, realizing he couldn't get rid of the rooster easily, said,
I'll throw it into the treasury room with the money. Maybe it will swallow a coin and choke on it.
So he called the coachman, who grabbed the rooster by its tail and threw it into the room with the treasures. The landowner had so much money he couldn't count it all. Then the rooster greedily swallowed all the coins and left all the chest empty. Then it flew out and headed for the nobleman's window again, crying out,
Cock-a-doodle-doo, noble lords, give my back or receive black points.
After all that had happened, the nobleman, seeing he couldn't do anything else, threw the bag away. Stolen goods don't bring joy to a man's house. The rooster joyfully picked up the bag and left the landowner in peace, heading towards its master's house. All the animals that saw him followed behind, creating a procession that looked like a wedding celebration. The rooster walked proudly, thrilled to have recovered his bag. As soon as he reached his master's house, he began to sing,
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
The old man, hearing the rooster's voice, rushed outside with joy. When he looked, what did he see? His rooster, something to be afraid of, and followed by a parade of animals. He greeted it with great joy. He regretted driving it away from home. Then the rooster said to him,
Master, spread a cloth here in the middle of the yard.
The old man quickly spread the cloth. The rooster flapped his wings and immediately the yard was filled with other animals. On the cloth he poured a mound of gold coins and precious stones, shining brightly in the sun, dazzling everyone's eyes. The grandfather, seeing these great riches, didn't know what to do with his joy. Suddenly, the neighbor woman appeared from somewhere, and when she saw such things, she really wanted to have such riches too. She approached the old man, feeling embarrassed, and said,
Neighbor, could you give me some gold coins too?
The old man replied sharply, Forget it, woman. When I asked you for eggs, do you remember your response? Now, argue with your hen to bring you gold coins. After all, I followed your advice. You know whose fault it is. And look what it brought me. Then the neighbor woman went to find the hen, grabbed it by the tail and scolded it so much that you felt sorry for it. Poor hen, as soon as it escaped from the woman's hands, it ran away. As she walked along the road, she found a small pig and swallowed it. Then it quickly returned home to its mistress and began
Cluck, cluck, cluck.
The old woman came out joyfully to her hen, which was jumping and hopping, but the birds quickly passed by the woman and went to the nest. After sitting there for a while, she jumped off the nest, clucking loudly. The woman rushed over to see what the hen had laid. And when she looked in the nest, what did she see? The hen had laid a small bead. Thinking that the bird was mocking her, the woman grabbed the hen and threw it away, driving it away from home. And so the stingy old woman remained completely poor. From now on, she needed to learn patience instead of eating eggs. But the old man became incredibly wealthy. He built a big house like a nobleman with a beautiful garden and lived very comfortable. Out of pity for the old woman, he made her a chicken care. Also, he always carried the rooster with him with a gold chain around its neck and wearing boots, making it seem like a Prince Charming, not a rooster to make broth. And that's the end of the story.